So, hello everyone. My name is Aleksandra Rozmus. I'm from the student radio Agida, and I'm here with.
My name is Nadim Naaman, and I play the Phantom in The Phantom of the Opera.
Wow, what a role!
Exactly.
Let's start. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
How do you feel playing such an iconic role?
It really is, it sounds like a cliche, but it really is just a huge privilege. I grew up as a kid in London, and Phantom was like almost like a landmark, like a tourism attraction. I remember as a kid seeing this mask, the logo of the show on taxis, on buses, on posters, on trains. Exactly. But I was aware of all of that before I was even old enough to go and see the show. So to be here now, 40 years, I'm 40 years old now. So I'm the same age as the show, basically, which is really cool. And to be here now playing this character. And I had such a long-term relationship with this musical. When I was 24 when I got cast in the ensemble, and I was the understudy for
I wanted
Raoul.
to ask you about this journey.
So we can talk about that more in a second. But it's like every 2 or 3 years, there's a reason to come back to Phantom, even if I thought I said goodbye to it. Like there's more. And I think, this is what makes it feel like a privilege. And there are not many shows, I guess, in the whole world which are this popular and recognizable. Maybe like Les Miserables, Mamma Mia, Wicked, Phantom. Maybe 4 or 5 shows that sort of hit the audiences everywhere and are so loved. So when you get to say this is what you do and it's your time looking after this character, because there were many actors before and there will be so many actors after me who play this character. I'm just looking after him for a while and I'm giving him to some audiences. But it's a huge pleasure.
Yeah, it's incredible to see this production in Gliwice, in a city where we did not have like before any production of this scale, and then also in foreign language. I know if you're aware, but it's not really popular in Poland to have a musical not
In Polish.
it's always in Polish.
Yeah.
So to see that many people coming to a show where some of them might not even be able to read subtitles but still want to be here, it gives you the idea of how much musicals are important here.
And I think, this is why I really have to congratulate our producers and our promoters, because what they did was, it's so intelligent what they've done. They've made a decision to take this show to places where it's either not been before or has not been before in the original language, the original English language that it was written in. And of course, it's incredible that Phantom has been translated all across the world into local languages, but this is the language it was written in. The lyrics were written, these rhymes were written, everything was written in this language. And so this is the album people maybe fell in love with 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And I spent 4 years in the original version in London, and I love it to pieces. Like, it's one of the most beautiful things ever. And I would go back to it in a heartbeat if they ever wanted me. But it's also really, it's really important that theatre shows go to places that they've not been to before. Why should people from Poland have to fly to London or to fly to... They can fly to Vienna, but then they're going to see it in German.
Yes.
If they want to see the original, why should they have to pay to fly to London or to New York or wherever? Yeah. And then finally, some producers thought, let's go to all the places where it's not been before. Yes. And you see this size of these auditoriums, 4,000 people. And it's as a cast member, having, done the show in London and done the show in places like this, you feel the excitement, you feel the energy of an audience who is just so excited that Phantom came to their city. And this is the biggest memory I will have of this job.
Yes, it's incredible. I actually had the privilege to see the production in London 3 times.
Amazing.
So to have this shift in like 5-6 years from me coming to London for the first time and then seeing this production coming to me.
Yeah.
It's like a full circle, as you mentioned, to give all those people that may not have the possibility to go to London to see this incredible story in the original language.
Yes.
Because I feel like there is something in this score that makes you feel and you want to listen to it alive, live, and alive
Yeah.
with original
Yeah.
score.
Yeah, I think so. And of course, there is room for both. I think it's one of the most amazing
Yeah.
things that shows get translated because it makes theatre more accessible in different countries. But, you also want to have the experience, the authentic, original experience, in the same way that if there is an incredible Polish movie that gets made,
Yeah.
we're going to watch that with subtitles, but we're going to hear the Polish and we're going to hear the actors in Polish in the same way, like when, I don't know if you watched Squid Game on Netflix,
Yeah.
right? That's another huge global phenomenon. When Squid Game came out, the first thing everybody said was watch it in Korean with subtitles. Don't listen to it dubbed because it won't be the same. And I think that that's okay to appreciate the language something was created in. It offers something very authentic and like as the writer intended it. And there's room for both. Like they should both coexist. I think it's if this show being here now in English means that in 5 years there is a new Polish version because somebody in this audience thinks I want to do this in Polish, like great. It happened to us. We went to Romania, to Bucharest, and 3-4 months later they revived the Romanian version because they watch it and it inspires them to we want to do this, and I think that's great.
Yeah, we had two productions. I think one of them is still running in Białystok, which is incredible, with of course like some limited period of time. And I wanted to come back to this idea of how the perceptions of the show changed for you. As you mentioned, you first started in the original production in London. How do you feel for this journey?
Yeah, it's a really, really difficult question to answer, but I think that if I try and sum it up, I think it sort of reflects my own aging process. When I joined the show first in London, I was 24 when I first got cast.
It's like me now.
Like I'd been working for 3 years. I was still at the very beginning of my career. And I was in the ensemble and I was the understudy for Raoul. And I understudied 2 actors, a guy called Will Barrett, who is now in the Book of Mormon in London. And Cillian Donnelly, who went on to become just a little bit famous.
I saw him actually in the London's production.
Right, so he was my Raoul as well, and I was his understudy. And, I look at that, and then you fast forward now, he's, I think, maybe 1 year older than me, Cillian. So he's like 41 or 42, and I'm 41 this year. And like he's playing Valjean in Les Mis, and I'm playing the Phantom in Phantom of the Opera. And like we both had very different very contrasting journeys in that time, but I think that that's something about this show that's so beautiful. It has like a family feel to it, and you can grow through the show. You can start your career, then you can play Raoul, then you can play the Phantom, and then maybe in 10 years you can come back and play Monsieur Firmin or Monsieur Andre. And the ladies have the same, from Christine to Carlotta to Madame Giry. Like there is a life progression through the show, like with the characters. And I think that's why so many actors do the show multiple times, and they do it for a year or two, then they go away, then they come back, then they, it's like you can't say no to it because the quality is so high. There's not many shows that are this good. So you leave and you go and do something else and you have a great time, but then, if the phone rings or the email comes and they say, would you be interested in that? Most of the time you're going to say yeah, because it's just being in Phantom's amazing.
Yeah, there's something intoxicating in it for the cast members, but there's always something like this for the audience, that the audience comes back. As me, who saw it 3 times because 1 was definitely not enough. And I wanted to ask you, what is the thing that the audience misses or do not notice during their first view of the Phantom?
Whoa, what a great question. Okay, I think this is really interesting. I think that the biggest misconception about Phantom is that it's a love story between Christine and the Phantom. I think that the Phantom is in love with Christine, but Christine spends 70 to 80% of the show saying that she wants to be kept very much away from him. From the second we see her go to the roof in Act 1 with Raoul, I'm frightened, I don't want to be there, keep me away from him, don't take me back there. From there to the end of the show, she wants to be distanced from him. And I think it's really important that the audience understand that Christine, the connection she feels to the Phantom is a confused one. Is it the spirit of the angel of music, which her father used to talk about? Is it somehow connected to her father? Is she attracted to him because of his talent? Is she attracted to him because she represents the music in her life? He represents the music in her life. But her love story, her romantic story, is with Raoul, and the Phantom has an unrequited love story. The Phantom is in pain because what he wants, he can't get back. And I think that by the end of the story, and I say this as someone who has played Raoul and the Phantom, I have 2 daughters. I would not want either of them to end up with the Phantom. Because I play the guy, I love him, but he kills people. He hides behind mirrors and spies on girls in their dressing rooms. He kidnaps them. He does a lot of really criminal things, really dangerous things. And I think what's interesting about him is that we feel sorry for him because he got there by being treated cruelly by society. He was treated with aggression and with violence and like an outcast. He was treated like an animal. And if you treat people like animals, or you throw them in a cage like an animal, they are going to be violent in response. And that's the lesson, the most important lesson of this musical. I think it's a love story in inverted commas, but actually Phantom is about how humans treat other humans and what are the consequences to treating humans badly. And this, if you think of it through this, it's still relevant in 2026.
It's incredible, actually, when you put it this way. And I feel like it's also sort of commentary that whatever happened to you in the past, it's not an excuse to continue those bad actions.
So true. And the power of Christine, the strength Christine has, is that she's the first person to stand up to him when she knows who he really is. And to be strong and to be brave and to not run away, to not scream, to look him in the eye without the mask, to touch him, to hold him and say, basically she's saying to him, you have to stop feeling sorry for yourself. If you want to have a life, you can have a life, but you cannot keep pretending to be this character, the Phantom of the Opera, and you cannot treat people this way. And eventually, without giving any spoilers away, he learns that because he feels that from her at the end of the story, and he lets both her and Raoul go. And it's because he understands there finally that he cannot continue down this path.
It's also like he thought that what he was looking for was love, but it was actually his humanity.
You are so correct. He thought he wanted a romantic love story like the ones in the operas. Actually, all he wanted was to be held in the way that his mother never held him, or that his father never held him, or that his sibling never taught him how to play a game, or to, companionship and to feel human connection. These are the things that he actually desperately needs. And I think that the director of this production has really absolutely nailed that, because we have this final image where you see the most important thing to the Phantom is the embrace, the hug. It's not being kissed in a romantic way or sexual way or anything like that. It's just human care and connection. And I hope that really comes across.
That's the moment of change for him, when Christine sees a human in him, not the scary phantom. And all those his actions, that he's trying to be this scary villain of the story to make people notice him, to actually get this attention in his idea, a good way, right? Because he wants to be remembered, he wants to be noticed, and it's this desperation that to be seen as human being, or to be seen as worthy. It's what drives him to the age.
Exactly. He creates this character because he has no power or status in the world. In the opera house, he figures out that if he creates a character who is threatening and intimidating and intelligent and calculating, the other characters will give him that status. But as soon as that mask is off and the facade is dropped, he's just like a child. He's a child who never learned how to interact with other humans, who cannot control his emotions. And the beauty of what Christine gives him is that she she begins to teach him how to exist with other humans. And by the end of the journey of the show, maybe there's a glimmer of hope that he won't put that character back on. He won't pretend to be the opera ghost anymore, and he'll just go and try a new chapter of life somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's what we want for him and for everyone watching this show today and in coming days in Gliwice. Thank you so much. It was
a pleasure.
It was a pleasure. All those conversations here are so incredible. I'm learning so much about the show. And
it's so interesting because I mean I'm speaking from a very privileged position that I've been with the show for on and off for like 15 years plus. Not in one go, many years apart in between, but like I've had the time and the different directors and the different colleagues and to see it from so many different angles, but I think that really the more people watch it, the more they can see the nuance and the subtext and all these things going on. So I hope the audiences will enjoy it.
Yes, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Aleksandra Rozmus, and you've been listening to Radio Agida. Thank you.